Welcome to the Cosmic Echoes. Good afternoon, Sue. We're recording in the afternoon for once, which is
Yes.
a little bit different. Hot on this side. I'm in the southern hemisphere. You're in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, good old Zoom.
Yes,
We do
yes.
without Zoom. There you are in gorgeous South Africa. Me, actually, it is a sunny day today. So my
Oh,
mood definitely lifted. And I've
yes,
been 2 days of sun, and I'm so grateful.
yeah.
I know you're near the ocean and the mountains and lots of
That's it.
sunshine, but never mind.
Yeah, well, it's raining, but it's a warm rain. It's kind of, it's refreshing. It's a little bit different than England, where the sun brings such release and hope and yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
light.
We need
Yeah,
that at the moment, don't we?
yeah, yeah. Tell
Yeah.
me what's going on. I've been a little
Well,
bit out of touch with things as I've just really enjoyed connecting in the present with people. It's just amazing down here how engaging people are, and you can have long conversations with people you're not even sure if you might know them, but you might not.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I've been very full on with astrology because I went to Steve Judd and Penny Thornton's
Right.
conference over the weekend, which was very interesting. It was at Amadam, which is a lovely place, and 50 people came from 9 countries.
Wow.
We didn't have anyone from South Africa, but
Yeah,
America,
yeah,
Bulgaria, all over Europe, Canada.
yeah.
So, New York, I kind of look at New York as its own country. Really, really interesting. And yes, it's tense. We can't pretend it isn't. And
No.
I think the big thing, yes, we're recording on the 25th of February.
Yeah.
And yesterday, Mars finally went direct in Cancer. So
Mhm.
we've now got this build up, this tension build up to the middle of April when Mars finally does its last opposition with Pluto.
Mhm.
And we did talk about it at the
Yeah.
conference, and there was a sense of, well, let's just get there.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because
think a lot of the stress happens in the predictive bits. We know something's coming, but let's see what
feels
happens.
it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It isn't. I mean, Mars, even if you have Mars opposite Pluto in your chart, it's a difficult aspect because
Mm,
it does involve sort of power struggles, control
mm,
issues, all those kind of things. It's quite an aggressive. It holds quite an aggressive flavor. So you have
yeah.
to work with how to release aggression
Mm,
safely. So
mm,
all of that thing, which is absolutely possible if you're aware of it, it doesn't have
yeah,
to run you, but it's about working with the energy that you have in your chart. So
yeah,
there is a tension, I think, in
yeah,
in the air. I don't know
yeah,
if you're catching that in South Africa, but certainly with the people that were at the conference, there was certainly major concern, and
mm,
obviously there would just been the elections in Germany as
uh,
well, and there was
yeah,
quite a lot of fear about where that would go, and it seems like it's, I don't know, it's doing whatever it's doing. Um,
yeah.
I think there's just everyone is desperately unsettled at the moment. And that's just the way the world is.
And it's interesting for me that in the Northern Hemisphere, in this time, is when we're moving into spring.
Yes.
So there
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
elemental wise, a anger emotion,
Well, it's
that
an
breaks through of spring.
urgency. I mean,
Yeah.
Mars is urgent. We're going to be moving into Aries on the 21st. It's the start of the whole the New Year
Oh, yeah.
cycle, if you like, the proper
Yeah.
New Year, the
Yeah.
agricultural New Year, spring, urgency. And that's
Mm,
very Mars, and it's going to be coming up. This urgency is going to be coming up opposite Pluto in during this time, just in April. So it's going
yeah.
to be interesting to see how this manifests. And what I
Mm.
would say to anyone, go into the garden and put your attention into watching the flowers and the and these wonderful bulbs coming up. You know, they are very, very verdant and urgent at the moment. Put
Yeah.
your attention there, not
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
because there's so much drama, and this is what
yeah,
I'm feeling here, and I don't know if it's part of my preparation for coming here, is that I feel detached from the drama completely. Like I can turn my back literally to it. I know it's there. I know anything can happen, but it's not affecting my psyche so much.
that's
Yeah.
really helpful. And
Mm.
I mean, and I think it really does help to live in a place where you have got the sea, you've
Yeah.
got those big oceans, you've got big skies, you've got big land around you.
Yeah.
It's quite exotic.
Yeah.
England's very different. It's a very intense, it's a very, very intense resonance going on here.
Yeah.
And actually, just recently, there's been new statistics out that
Mhm.
we are now more overcrowded than France and a third of the size of France. So
Oh,
there
wow.
is huge intensity population-wise in
Yeah.
the UK, mainly in the south of the country.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
do think England is getting a double dose of intensity
Mm. Yeah.
where it is, you know.
That's it. We
And
need space and we need sun, actually.
we need space and
Yeah.
sun. We do,
Mm,
absolutely. So, you know, it is about finding your space
yeah.
to do that and just listening to yourself. And if you're starting to feel the rage or the
Yeah.
indignation or the whatever it is that comes up for you, find somewhere safe to express that. You know, nature can take it. If you want to go and shout at a tree, it's all right.
Yeah.
Say thank you to the tree afterwards, or you know, throw yourself on the floor and batter the earth.
Yeah.
Whatever it is for you, but take yourself out of any situation that could become volatile. Really
Mm.
important to look after yourself. Listen to yourself.
And water can be a great
Yes.
um, place to,
Oh, you've frozen.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
now it's
you
back.
froze just for that second.
Oh,
Talking about water.
yes, so I feel water is very important in this time. It kind of stabilizes us. It's a safe space to bring it out. We were just in the mountain and
Yeah.
watching this big water coming down. There's so much energy in it, and it's just so beautiful. You can almost feel the pureness of it.
Yes.
And I feel sometimes
Oh, yours, your you
cold water.
yeah. Your
This is South Africa.
yeah. Well, you're freezing a bit, but we'll keep going anyway. Don't forget that Mars is in Cancer.
Okay.
So that's a big water sign. That's really important. And Mars in Cancer is often very protective over the home and the
Mm,
homeland. But because it's going direct, it's got a more urgent feel to it. So I would
mm,
also say to anyone who's in a volatile relationship, be particularly vigilant at the
yeah.
moment around that and finding strategies to calm troubled waters if that should happen for you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so Mars in Cancer can exacerbate anger in the home, but also this sense of I want to protect everything in the home. I want to keep the
Yeah.
homelands okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
just be very vigilant, and particularly as on March the 1st, Venus turns retrograde. Now that's
Okay.
going to be retrograde until April the 12th. So
Mm,
it's an interesting one because where is she? She's in Aries at the moment. Um,
yeah.
yeah, she's just so we're just coming up to the new moon in February, the 20 on so at the end of February, and she's in Aries, so she's going to be going back. She will be going back into Pisces at some point before she goes back into and she starts her direct trajectory again. But
Yeah.
it's sort of It's an interesting one because when we have Venus retrograde, it's a real opportunity to really consider what our values are. If you think about it,
Mm.
Venus rules Taurus of the second house, and Taurus is all about what we own, what we look at as giving us value. It can be also how we earn money, obviously, but
Yeah,
it can be a fantastically great time to clean your cupboards out. What haven't I worn? What doesn't suit me anymore? What don't I feel good in? All of that. Clean your cupboards out. It's such a good time to do this when Venus is retrograde. And this sort of sense of there could be a change of heart, or relationships might go not as smoothly, or they may do a little bit of flow in and out as well. That can happen. Or just how you feel about things, how you feel about life. So you might
yeah,
kind of a Venus in Aries in for particularly in a woman's chart. We talked about this last time. It's a very Bodhisattva energy, and I
yeah.
made such a faux pas last time. I said she was Anglo-Saxon when she isn't. She was a Briton, which is the Anglo-Saxons. I got very told off about that. So it's got that sort of, she's got that warrior energy to her. There's a lot of warrior stuff going on. Mars going direct,
Mm.
she's in Mars's sign of Aries.
Very- Yeah.
So I would just say it's about being vigilant.
Mm.
And yes, I mean, life is going to turn out how it does, but I think we're
Yeah,
still aware that there is this sense of what are my values? What are values, actually?
yeah,
And
yeah,
also, it's a really lovely thing when Venus goes retrograde to start thinking about actually what are my gifts and talents? That's a very positive energy to put back into really addressing Venus in going yeah, retrograde.
yeah.
What the second house is all about, what are my values? What are my
Which kind of brings back to that expression, even aggression can be, you can use your aggression in your expression of
yeah,
yourself. So if that's in your creativity or in your gifts that you're given, to find those and to
yeah,
shut down the critics and the critical mind and whatever it is that hold you back, and just go for it.
yeah. And also don't forget that Venus rules Libra. And Libra is all about reaching out for relationship. Libra loves relationship, whatever they are. They need
Yeah.
people around them. But with Venus going backwards, retrograde,
Mm.
it may again be a time of reassessing actually, what do relationships mean to me? Do they work okay in my world? So
Yeah.
again, be very careful because Venus is ruled by in Aries is ruled by Mars. So
Mm.
just be very careful of anything that's touchy and that
Yeah.
might cause conflict. Just be vigilant, really. So I think that's very important. The other big thing that happens, which is the big shift,
Yeah.
end of March, is Neptune enters Aries. So Neptune is going to be moving from its own very nebulous sign of Pisces, where it's been for a long time. How this is going to play out, everybody's guessing at the moment, but it's certainly the big, because it's going to go into Aries over the Aries 0 degrees Aries point. This is a very much a new beginning of a 165-year cycle around the zodiac, because it's 0 point Aries it's going to move on to. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but this is a big shift from dreamy, imaginative, kind of illusion based Mercury, Neptune,
Yeah.
into this very fiery, a fire sign. So I
Yeah.
I I think I've said this before. My money is on something manifesting in a more
Mm.
spiritual way, rather than it being kind of dreams and illusions or imaginations or whatever that is. I feel it's going to start manifesting,
Mm.
maybe spiritual teachers, or maybe a lot. It could be Neptune rules television. It rules all of the illusionary things. So I'm going to be very
Yeah.
interested to see what films come out in the near
Mhm.
future, which are bound to hold that Neptune Aries energy. 'Cause it's very different Aries. Neptune is so different from
Mm.
Aries. So I think it's going to be interesting. Fire Aries is vision and goals. So
Mm.
yes, I think it's going to I think it's going to be preparing the way now
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
when Saturn meets Neptune at the conjunction, in well, it actually joins Neptune in Aries very close in on May the 25th this year, and then it's going to come together. It'll come to the two of them will be absolutely conjunct in April, in yeah, and in 26. So
Okay.
I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Just watch what happens in your life and how this manifests. And don't be
Yeah.
frightened by it, because it manifests in all sorts of different ways. So it can be incredibly powerful. There might be great writings, poetry, art, huge things of art. We really don't know how it's
Yeah.
going to manifest.
And could it be as simple as taking note of your dreams, your physical dreams?
Oh, I think dreams will become a reality. When
Yeah.
absolutely. So it is,
Yeah.
I think it's even more important now to be very vigilant about what you're adding to the zeitgeist, how you're
Mm.
thinking.
Mm.
I've been doing a lot of research just recently into how astrology works, and this sense of resonance, and
Yeah.
planets' resonance, if you like, are resonating with our resonance. How they do it,
Yeah.
good question.
Yeah.
I feel like this is such an opportunity for, I don't want to say spiritual enlightenment, because I don't know what enlightenment is, but this
Yeah.
sense of growing a
Mm.
sense of connection with whatever we perceive the divine to be, actively
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And maybe not even from someone else, but for ourselves.
Yes.
I think we're moving away from this teacher student aspect in life as to finding the teacher within ourselves, connecting to that divine element within ourselves.
That's the big lesson, is,
Mm.
is stop giving your power away to someone else telling
Yeah.
you what to do. There's
Yeah.
plenty of that going on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Plenty,
There's
plenty.
a lot of spiritual gurus. There's an awful lot of people channeling. So,
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of interesting things going on
yeah,
teaching.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
Mm.
a lot of that going on. And I think
Mm.
you're right. I think this is a time to really think, hang on a minute, my spirituality is mine. It may
Mm.
have a common theme, but actually this is my beliefs. And
Yeah.
owning those and feeling safe with them. And I've always said that, we have a table. I look at it as a table, and we have,
Mm.
we're made up of our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, and that's
Yeah.
great. You have to make a steady table. You've got to grow the fourth table leg of faith, faith and
Yeah.
belief in that connection with up there, not through other people. It's your own
Mm.
relationship with whatever you perceive God to be.
Yeah. 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 That third party isn't always the best thing to have around.
It's,
Yeah.
it's where you want to put your money, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And growth. I mean, this is why we're here to experience the world
Yeah.
in this form. So to give it to someone else would seem so silly, but we've all been through it.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
nothing wrong with
Yeah.
making these mistakes.
Well, I
So
think
Sue, there's also eclipses happening. I think
Oh
we're
my
just
gosh,
entering eclipse
eclipse. Well,
season.
this is the other, so this is the other big news about March. We enter eclipse season. So the first
Yeah.
eclipse is the new moon eclipse on the 14th of March. Sorry, the full moon
Full
eclipse.
moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is lovely because the full moon in March is called the awakening moon.
Ooh.
It's
Oh,
trees,
wow.
our alder tree, and the alder loves to be in water. And it's a wonderful wood because it's very versatile and very resilient. So it's been
Yeah.
used a lot in building. So it is the time of the alder tree. So go out there and check out alders. The Druids used to have that as a sacred tree, and apparently the witches used to make, I don't know if this is true or not, but I love it, whistles. So
Yeah.
they would whistle up the north wind with that alder tree. So
Oh, wow.
full of magic,
Yeah.
this particular full moon. So I think this full moon is very intense. Well, what
Mm.
isn't, but at the moment it is because we've got three planets in Pisces, plus
Mm.
the North Node, obviously as it's the eclipse, and then
Mm.
we've got retrograde Venus, and we've got Mercury, and we've got Chiron in Aries. And this is all being kicked off, I think, about by the new moon, which we spoke about in the last video, which is on
Yeah.
the 28th of Feb, when there is a huge alignment of Piscean energy on that's the new moon in February. So we have one, two, three, four, five planets in Pisces plus the North Node. That's the February new moon on the 28th of Feb. So it's just about
Yeah.
coming
So
up.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's setting the scene. It's almost like there is this huge Piscean energy. Now, uh, with this moon, Pisces, as we've been talking about, is the higher aspect, is the spiritual. It's
Yeah.
the opening up to whatever our perception of God is. It is that sense of dissolving into the collective. But the lower aspect is this sense of chaos, delusion, illusion, making stories up. uh,
Yeah.
don't like use the word lying, but there you go. May not think you're lying, but slipping and sliding because Pisces swims,
Yeah.
the fishes go like this, And actually,
Yeah.
Pisces is traditionally known as the mystic, the artist, but
Yeah.
it's also the
Yeah.
addict. So you may
Okay. Yeah.
feel during this time, the build up from the new moon in on February the 28th to this full moon eclipse. If the eclipse is, let's close this down. What do we need to let go of so we can start again? So that we
Yeah.
can actually move forward at a
Mm.
different
And this is
time.
also, we're moving towards the end of the zodiac
Yeah,
year cycle.
yeah.
So it is, and it's the spring clean, up north. It's the letting go to let in the fresh and the new in all senses, really.
But because it's Aries, it's got an aggression to it. And I think
Yeah.
I'd rather use this word urgency rather
Yeah.
than action, actually. But also Neptune is at 29 degrees on the 14th of March, and it's right next door to the North Node. So there is a
Yeah.
sense of destiny coming here. There is a very strong sense of destiny around the mystic and the addict. So, yes, are you
Move.
are you telling yourself the truth? Are people telling you the truth? Do you know the difference between truth and delusion? And I think this is going to be a very strong feel to it. And then obviously, this is where the moon comes in because she's right opposite the sun. and because the north node is in Pisces, well, the south node is with the moon in Virgo. So Virgo provides this space of kind of let's get real.
Yeah.
Virgo,
Yeah.
let's look at the details here. Let's not run
Mm.
away with the fantasy. Let's actually get really down. Let's get practical. Let's go back to the earth, Virgo, the earth
Yeah.
goddess, the healer, the
Yeah.
paying attention to your health and welfare, paying attention to the structures in your life. Do you feel safe?
Mm.
Drawing on that energy, which is really important so that we can move forward as it's almost like the practical mystic, it's the everyday mystic. It's not somebody who's locked up in a on a mountain top, going like this for years on end, or going off to India to a guru. It's actually like, well, how can we bring the mystery and the magic and it practically into our everyday lives and really work with that and go sort of draw on what we what humanity knows about that because it's South Node. It's like, how can we use the collective wisdom that this is all relating to and bring it in, make ritual in your life.
Yeah, that is so, so
Yeah.
important. And to, I don't know, I'm interested or fascinated by what the safe is. I don't think we often feel unsafe in spaces where we aren't,
Yes.
through the media or through whatever we've been told. A lot of us live in complete safety, in the moment.
Yeah.
We can make up stories about the future and the past, but in the moment we are safe. Not all people, obviously. There's a
No.
lot of people that don't. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but we got drawn away from that
Yeah.
safety.
Uh, It is an interesting thing. If you give your power away, you're never safe, ever, never.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
grow your fourth table of faith and belief in who you are and your connection with what you consider the divine to be, you do feel safe. And do you know what? I
Yeah.
was thinking this morning, I was thinking about our chat, and I was thinking,
Mm.
underneath anger lies the fear of annihilation.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yes.
Anger is protection. It's I'm going to fight my it's fight, fight, fleas. I'm going to fight my way out of this. I'm nobody's going to annihilate me. But so underneath that is this fear of I'm going to die, annihilation.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
a really good time, therefore, to address, how do you feel about your mortality?
Yes, exactly.
What does that mean to you?
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I mean, this is your area of your passion, really, I think,
Yes.
is a better word to say. Um, for me, it is so important for us to realize that it is a transition. It's not necessarily an end. It should be such a great thing to embrace, that mortality, that fact that we aren't in this form forever, that we have other forms, that we have other expressions. We know nothing. I don't think we know, necessarily what's going to come next or what it is, but it's energy can't be destroyed, and we are energy.
Well, I think that's right. We're consciousness is a resonance.
Mm,
I think
mm,
it does, and it resonates around the universe. So
yeah,
we happen to be an expression of that consciousness, a physical incarnation of that consciousness. But so's a rock,
yeah,
so's a tree. We've just forgotten
yeah,
that we've separated ourselves out from the beauty and the glory of what it means to be alive. We think, oh, we human beings, we're so this, that, and the other. No, we're not. We're just expressions of consciousness. And I think when we understand that, it sort of enables us to address or start to address the fear of the unknown, which is death. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And we have choice. There's always choice in this. And this is, I know you also working hard on the fact that we also have choice in death, in
yeah,
our own
yeah,
when we know that that's time. But in a life we have choice. I was in this call and it's made such an impression. And I don't know if everybody understands how, you can always choose to be naked at any point in the day or life or time. You have that choice at least.
yeah, yeah,
Consciousness is that we have choice. A rock doesn't necessarily have choice, and that's what maybe separates us in this lifetime. Um, but to make that choice, and we can choose how we express that urgency or how we experience it. Not to numb the senses, though. That's obviously not the point.
yeah. Well, we've just got so wrapped up in we've got so wrapped up in ourselves. We think
Mm.
we think we're in charge of life, and do you know what? We're not. What I do like in that respect about this full moon on the 14th is the moon in Virgo is trine Uranus in Taurus. And that's a lovely flow. So there could be sudden realizations around kind of what it's the earth, kind of what the earth means to us, what our relationship with earth means to us.
Mm.
Uranus is the great awakener, and
Yeah,
the moon is in Virgo, and Virgo is the earth. So
yeah,
let's hope. And also, what I do like about this is that Taurus, where Uranus is, it is ruled by Venus retrograding. So there may be this is such an opportunity to what is precious to you?
yeah,
What is really precious? And to pay homage to the earth and take time to go out into the garden, say thank you to the flowers for growing, for bringing life back into our world after a very long winter.
yeah, yeah. And you're a very long summer. I mean, this is now
Yeah,
supposed to be very, very warm. It's been very dry. It's raining now. You can smell it. You can feel it. There's such a beautiful reciprocity
yeah,
between us and the earth.
yeah,
As we say thank you, she says thank you. And
yes, yes, absolutely. And don't forget Pluto's doing his work in
yeah,
Aquarius. Let's do things differently.
yeah,
We don't know how
yeah.
it's going to manifest. And I would say there's a lot of stuff being said on the internet about AI, which is
Mm,
hugely fearful for a lot of people. And
mm.
all I would say is go to the earth. That's more important to us than AI. AI
Exactly.
is going to infiltrate our life. There is no question about that. We're going to have to go with the flow, but never forget your humanness and the fact that you are mortal. And yes, you will die. Yeah.
Yes. But you have an innate wisdom in you that
Yes.
I can never simulate. Yeah. And to live
Yeah.
in the moment and to make connection with people because it's worth it to look people in the eye and to just really experience each other. I think it's
Yeah.
such a wonderful thing that we are able to do.
Yeah. And to remember the difference between Kairos time, which is in
Mm.
the moment time, and Chronos time, which is us, a change to the clock.
Oh,
And
it's
put it
horrible.
around. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. Is Kairos time is that moment of the mystery, the mystic, the moment, the person that takes time to have the ritual to grow the fourth leg of faith and belief, and Kronos time, which is doesn't have time for any of that. I'm just going to go and climb up that. I've got to get up that greasy pole. No, you do not need to get
No.
up the greasy pole.
Very lonely at the top of that pole because
Very lonely. So this
no.
leads us up. So this full moon, this beautiful awakening moon, what a perfect name for it, leads
Mm.
us obviously into the spring equinox on the 21st,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
the birth of Aries, yes. And then
Yeah.
on the 29th. So I think because Mars is moving forward, things are going to really, really start to gallop. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what's going to happen, but
Mm.
we can see the aggravation in the world through our politics, through the
Yeah.
political leaders that are playing this out. And it's
Mm.
in chaos at the moment. And we've just got to hang in there and keep to the Virgo, earth, health, healing, diet, creating ritual, teaching your children to create ritual, cleaning out your cupboards, do all of that. It's spring clean time. And that
Yeah.
leads into the new moon eclipse, another eclipse. Now, the new
Yeah.
moon eclipses are about newness, this
Mm.
sense of where do I want to go? How do I want to open up now? It isn't about closing down, it isn't about completing, it's about opening up. So
Yeah.
between the full moon, which is the completion, that vibe of completion, between
Yeah.
14th of March to the 29th of March, just see what comes to you about where you want to go in this next 6 months, year. Eclipse seasons last way until the lot, which are in September.
Yeah.
So just be very vigilant over the summer about that vibe. And again, we've got Saturn, we've got Venus retrograde, and we've got Neptune at 29 degrees is again this Neptune energy is so strong this month. Oh my gosh, because it's the 29th degree is the anaretic degree. So it's kind of like Pisces, so a Neptune in Pisces, and it's kind of on steroids, except you can't ever put Neptune on. Well, you could, because it could a bit would get addicted to them. It's drugs. But there
Oh,
is a sense of it is multiplied, and then
yeah.
you've
Yeah.
got Mercury at 0 degrees, um,
Cool.
uh, Aries. So Mercury is moving out of looking, yearning, wanting
Mm.
what is all of this about, and it's going to start finding it. It's going to go out in the world with that Aries energy, 0 degrees, it's off. And then it's got Sun in Aries, and you've got the moon, right? Obviously, it's the new moon, and then
Yeah.
Chiron in Aries as well. So there is this beginning, this shift from this hugely Piscean nebulous, don't know what the hell's going on to, do you know what? We're going out there and we're doing it. And I said
Yeah.
this before, I don't know if this is true, whether it'll happen, but I think there's going to be marches in the streets, Aries, banner holdings. I do.
I I
I
I
do.
agree. I can't see it not happening because
Uh,
it's all there. I've actually seen some of it somewhere in Pennsylvania or somewhere.
yeah,
People are starting, um, and it doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be, all those bad things. It can also just
no.
be my voice. I am a warrior. Um,
Well, we have in the new moon on the 29th of March, Mars is trine Saturn. and
yeah,
and just about the North Node. And I like that. That's useful because Saturn grounds, I mean, it's grounding. I think it's going to be grounding the visions. I think Saturn in Pisces is about let's manifest the vision. Let's not just spend our time in La La
yeah,
Land,
yeah, yeah,
Never
yeah,
Never Land or wherever, or
yeah.
Narnia. I'd love to go and live in Narnia. But
Me too.
it's got and don't forget that Mars is going to start really gathering momentum because it is
Mm,
going to be going shooting forward to come opposite Pluto. So it's becoming back into orb now. Um,
yeah,
and it is about protecting the homeland. So I
yeah.
don't know, or dreaming about what the homeland is, or imagining the best possible outcome, or what does it mean to us. So I think we've got a summer of the word that's come to me is discontent.
Mm.
I know you said
You
last
can
time.
only move forward.
I know you said last time, oh, I think we'll all, it's all going to be, we'll all take a breath. No, I think it's going whoop. So I think
Well,
that's,
disruption is necessary for change. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So I think it's going
Yeah.
to be very intense. This month is
Mm.
intense, especially with this. And then right at the end of the month is Neptune's shift into Aries, which is a whole different vibe of
Yeah.
how we perceive our dreams, our illusions, our relationships with our addictions,
Mm.
all of that. And I think, and I like Dan Waits a lot. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be a lot more UFO stuff coming up as well.
Mm.
That's a manifestation of, let's say, inverted commas, the mystical, the
Yeah.
mystery, you know.
Yeah.
So I whether that's a distraction, I don't know how
Really
this.
difficult. This is the truth, isn't it? What is the truth and what isn't the truth, and who knows what the truth
Yeah,
is, if anybody.
yeah. So just be very vigilant. I think Uranus is going to help because it's actually sextile Saturn, which,
Mm.
there's this beautiful sextile coming later in the year, between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, with a little bit of Saturn chucked in. So, and Saturn is grounding. I think it's really important. It isn't a nasty planet. It is the headmaster
Yeah.
that's right.
Father time, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
father, yeah,
yeah,
father time.
yes.
Yeah.
So we'll just watch where that happens. But I think there's going to be unexpected changes, to how we perceive, or the illusions or the delusions or the truth coming. Uranus is the truth teller. It's like, this is
Yeah.
the truth. Bingo. So Saturn
Yeah.
manifesting that.
Mm.
What is the truth in Pisces, the illusion and delusion. So it's a
Well,
big
oh,
month.
so interesting. It sounds exciting.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, there's loads more to say, but we haven't got all day. But also, just to finish off here, Pluto is unaspected in the new moon eclipse chart. So on the
Yeah.
29th, Pluto is all on its own. So Pluto unaspected doesn't have any boundaries to it. So I
Oh,
don't know
shit.
what's going to happen. There's going to be, and it is the Lord of ordeals and transformations and kind of
Yeah.
digging stuff up. So it is unguarded, unrestricted. So yes, I kind of feel I got money on that, because actually on the 14th of March, its only aspect is to the moon. Pluto is aspected on at the full moon eclipse to the moon, which is all part of the full moon eclipse. So there's something going on there, and then at the new moon eclipse, it's totally on its own. So what can happen with unaspected planets is they can be very powerfully sort of um, sort of almost compulsive. And don't
Oh,
forget, Pluto has that capacity, or
yeah.
they can just completely stand right back. So there is a sense of a wave or a tsunami or whatever that is. Pluto could bring that. There could be unbridled AI stuff going on, which you go, what? I just seen
Yeah.
a photograph of one of the first cars that can just go up into the sky. So I don't know, and it's one of the prototypes, but it's happening.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's happening. This is going to sound funny, but in this time and age that we live, I just wish they could make air travel a little bit more comfortable.
Well,
Long flights are bad.
They're not good, are they? They are so not good, especially in your when you're in cattle. It's terrible. But
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So if can we use this AI
absolutely.
amazing things to
There's going,
these? Yeah.
there's going to be wonderful things happening with AI, and there's going to be awful things happening with AI. There's going to
Yeah.
be both. And Pluto's job is to go down and dig it all up
Yeah.
and
But
transform.
luckily he's in Aquarius.
He's in
Luckily,
Aquarius because he's gone the side of the of humanity.
that's it. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's where we want it right now.
that's where
That's
we're
good.
going right now. And obviously, Aquarius is also to do with technology, but I like to think Aquarian, being an Aquarian, it is on the side of humanity. So it is
Exactly.
the new moon is very intense because it
Mm.
creates a bowl-shaped chart. There's all the, according to the, when he put it into the UK chart, all
Yeah.
the planets are above the horizon. So it's going to be very visual rather than below the horizon, which is hidden. So,
Yeah.
and the full moon eclipse is more below the surface. So
Mm.
anything below the surface will be coming up at the new moon. Watch this space, girl.
Good. We want that stuff to come out. We want to understand. We don't want to reprimand anymore or put people and things in boxes and saying, we want clarity and
Yeah,
transparency and truth.
yeah,
Whatever that means, because that changes as well. Truth
absolutely.
seems to be very subjective. Um,
Absolutely. And Chiron is chuntering away doing its wonderful work in Aries, which is about who am I?
yeah.
It's the wound of I don't know who I am. Help.
Yeah.
So, so that's holding the space. It's right at the end of the huge of the stellium. So yes,
Yeah.
it's making a sandwich. One end of the bread is Chiron, and the
Mm.
other end of the bread is uh, Saturn. So
Okay.
there's a kind of karma going on here, and
Mm.
the opportunity for immense, I don't want to use the word healing,
Mm.
awakening. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the word awakening because it's sexile to Uranus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like I'm not up for I don't want to use the word healing anymore because it sounds like we heal and that's it, and that's not true. We
It's
have
nothing. Yeah. Yeah. And we keep evolving. It
yes,
doesn't end. Yeah.
no, no, it
No.
doesn't. No.
No.
So I think that's my news.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I love it. It's funny to let you know that we are flying back to the UK on the 14th of March. So
Oh,
that's going to be
really? On
interesting.
the full moon. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it'll
You
be
didn't
very
plan that,
interesting.
obviously.
Yeah. No,
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 on the full moon. Well, that's really nice. There's a completion there for you as well. And whatever
exactly.
that means to you, because you have to let something go to complete something. And then
Yeah.
then you got the time in between the full moon eclipse and the new moon eclipse. And I don't forget that these eclipses have a reputation of being life-changing. So that it depends where they
Yeah.
sit on in your
Mm.
chart and what planets that they influence. It's really important.
Yeah.
So for instance, the new moon eclipse in Aries really affects anybody with the cardinal signs. So that's Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, because Aries is a cardinal sign. I mean, it affects other signs too, but particularly
Yeah.
around 9 degrees in your chart. If you have any planets at 9 degrees in of Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, you will feel this.
Yeah.
You
It's
will.
definitely going to be a big one. I think
Yeah,
we just leveling up
yeah,
constantly
yeah,
as the zeitgeist
yeah,
we level up together.
yeah, definitely. And of course, don't forget the next day, literally the next day, Neptune enters Aries.
Oh wow.
So it's a really powerful new moon eclipse. in
Yeah.
on March the 29th. It's really powerful. And I hate
Amazing.
using that word powerful because everybody uses it. And what does it mean? I'm going to change it. It's very potent.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
It's potent. It's pokey. Yeah.
Yeah. Sue, thank you so much. I will probably see you back on here just before that new moon, somewhere in
Yes,
between. Yeah, and we will
absolutely.
chat
See what's
again.
happened.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I
Okay,
love doing these month apart because you kind of go, oh my God, this is really did happen. Or, oh, it didn't.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. So I'll
Thank
see
you so
you.
much.
Yeah. See you soon. Take care,
See you
everyone. Bye for
soon.
now.